Fire officials suspect the victim may have fallen to his death along these steep cliffs. They want the public to heed the warning of these signs.
The situation seems to be changing by the moment here. We are certainly monitoring it as the emergency crews come and go.
Go ahead,
Marty and
Monica.
Susan, can you hear me out
Yeah,
here?
we can hear you.
Go ahead. Just crossing our path right here, the field right directly in front of us. The bulldozer is actually chasing these flames, pushing them across the field. So what do you do next, sir?
What we'll do now is come in here and we'll put another dozer line in here. Like we have a spot fire right here. Hang on a minute.
We're bringing this to you live as it happens, and we've come across these fire crews that are just diligently working out here. They've been out here for hours.
John Gardner is scheduled to be arraigned tomorrow. The official search is underway here in Rancho Bernardo, as is the volunteer search effort, with hundreds taking part in that. Darren Shaker says those blood-curdling screams still haunt him, along with the thought that even in this expansive apartment complex, no one else came out to help. It's at the officer's discretion to hand out the fines for excessive noise. And that's anything that can be heard 50 feet away from the house. One of the fastest ways administrators were able to get out the word to students that there was no school was through texting. The hotshot uses a small CO2 cartridge to launch the pepper cloud with a bang.
And how about the crowd back here? You guys excited?
Oh, yeah.
May the force be with us all.
And those high winds knocked down this tree here in El Cajon near the CHP headquarters. You can see where the bark was just stripped right from the tree as it toppled over. Even as the days passed and the situation was looking grim, this entire community was holding out hope that Chelsea King would be found alive. We're less than a mile from Tijuana, a popular spring break destination. You can see the lights of the city behind me and the traffic coming into the U.S. this morning. Police say as many as 30 or 40 people were at this party. They have detained several of those people, trying to see who was in possession of a handgun, who fired shots, and which of those shots struck the 3 people who were injured. The investigation is underway here in Chula Vista, and we will keep you updated throughout the morning. That's the latest. I'm Monica Dean, NBC 739. Shattered glass and twisted metal. What's left of this minivan is hoisted to the roadside just west of Pine Valley. Surprisingly, this was the man behind the wheel, still clutching his briefcase.
I'm surprised after seeing the car that I was able to walk out and stand here before everybody.
Robert Zakar says he was driving to El Centro when the icy weather caught him by surprise.
I tried to slow down. I, just came off the road and rolled.
A witness called for help.
I guess the car was on an edge, ready to fall over, and the CHP held it up while I climbed out.
He walked away with just a few cuts on his hands and a rip in his shirt.
I'm fine. This is it.
Zakar hasn't even had time to call his wife and 2 kids in Sabre Springs to tell them what's happened.
I don't want to scare them just yet.
Directly across the interstate, crews work to recover another vehicle that launched 200 feet into this valley below. The CHP says this accident happened yesterday. Incredibly, the 2 people inside, a 48-year-old man and his 37-year-old wife, survived the impact. They were both taken to Sharp Hospital. The car was recovered today, dragged over jagged rocks up a steep hillside. The mangled wreckage tells the story of the intense impact, and CHP officers hope it sends a serious message.
You see that right there? That's what happens when you don't slow down in the rain and the snow. The speed limit's 70 out here on a good day, not when it's raining, not when it's slowing.
A lesson Robert Zakar lived to tell.
Again, I'm blessed, I'm fortunate. I thank God every minute.
Monica Dean, NBC 739.
His head's over on this side, I believe.
Oh, he's adorable. It's sad, too, because he shouldn't be here.
Look closely under the words "to protect and serve." This pup must have thought this would be a safe place to hide.
Oh, you're a cute little baby seal.
When I first got here, there was about 6 cars here, 6 police cars. There was an undercover car, so this guy's getting a lot of protection.
San Diego police say the report was unusual.
There was a radio call here at about 4 o'clock this morning that there was a baby seal crossing the street.
As officers tried to cajole the animal back to the beach, he found a cozy spot under this patrol car stopped on Abbott Street.
And the seal crawled under the car, and it's been there ever since.
Crouching down to sneak a peek.
I didn't know it was going to be under a police car in the middle of the street right in front of my house.
Some took pictures, others tried using their own tactics to coax him out. The seal has been under this patrol car for more than 3 hours now, and people are concerned, is he just scared or could he be hurt?
Okay, go ahead.
SeaWorld officials arrive and ID this animal as a California sea lion. In a few quick minutes in front of a curious crowd, and just a little protest, the two-person team makes a successful rescue. Better stuck under a police patrol car than in the back of one, but in the end, this feisty sea lion ends up behind bars, at least until he's rehabilitated and released.
It's definitely thin and dehydrated, but it's got lots of good attitude.
Monica Dean, NBC 739.
Monica Dean went back to the camp and talked to people living there. She joins us now with their side of the story. Monica?
Steve, this camp in Carmel Valley has reportedly been around for years. Tonight, the people living there say it's lonely and frightening, but they stay there out of desperation. It's a shocking look at an appalling way of life. Hundreds of illegal immigrant workers living in San Diego's canyons, in many cases in the backyards of million-dollar homes. Our hidden cameras revealed drinking and what appears to be drunkenness, drug dealing, and even prostitution. Resident Julie Adams lives near the camps. She says she's had enough.
I knew it was going on and it's being ignored, and it's dangerous for my community.
But the workers who live this way tell a different story. We caught up with dozens of workers at dinner time in Carmel Valley. Most of these men live in the canyons nearby. Jorge has been living like this more than 7 years. Why? Out of necessity, he says. He makes $55 a day and can't afford to live elsewhere. He sends his money home to his family in Oaxaca, Mexico. Claudia Smith with the California Rural Legal Assistance Foundation comes here to offer what help and support she can.
They're here simply because they need to provide for their families, because they were desperate for better remunerated work, and because we give them work. Like it or not, that's the reality.
For these migrant workers, this cart isn't just a place for food. It's a place where they can cash their checks. And if they don't have enough money to eat, the vendor gives them credit for food.
Gracias.
It's $4 to eat here, and for these men, this is the best part of their day. Blistered hands tell the story of grueling days in the tomato fields, coming home each night to conditions like this. In some cases, separated from their families for years on end. Not something these workers are proud to discuss.
Bien, duro y triste.
Jorge describes the camp as hard, sad, and at times scary. He says it's getting cold and it's impossible to stay warm in a house made of plastic bags. As for allegations of drug use and prostitution,
Somos una gente honesta, trabajadora, honrada.
Wilfredo says they are honest people who want to work, but also admits a group of outsiders sometimes come to the camps and cause trouble. Some say they are outraged that nothing's being done.
I have spoken with the mayor's office. I've spoken with my council person. I've spoken with the police. I've spoken with the FBI, code enforcement, all these people, and nothing is being done. That's what angers me.
Our officials in this country, not just here in San Diego County, sort of stick their head in the sand and ignore the whole thing. It's just a tragedy.
Aquí ya saben, la licenciada siempre nos echa la mano.
Trash bags, a parting gift to help protect these workers from a damp night. They disappear into a beautiful sunset, only to return to an ugly lifestyle many would like to forget. Even if the camp doesn't breed crime, the fact remains that some workers are in this country illegally, and some say they shouldn't be here in the first place. Monica Dean, NBC 739.